On June 30, 2026, the quiet village of Hamden, Ohio, felt entirely isolated from the rest of the state. It is a rural community in Vinton County, defined by dense trees and the steep railroad embankments that cut through the landscape. That morning, local law enforcement arrived at this property on Omer Street. They were serving a routine search warrant connected to a completely unrelated investigation. While searching for that unrelated evidence, investigators encountered a scene Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson later described as pure evil. He would tell reporters that nearly 24 hours later, he still could not get the smell off of him. It was through a standard police procedure and blind luck that one of the most severe cases of child endangerment in the state's history was accidentally exposed. Inside the home, investigators found 16 children, ranging from 18 months old to 18 years old. All of them were living together in a single 12 by 12-foot room. The room was covered in human waste and bred heavy bacteria. Sheriff Ryan Kane noted that most local livestock were kept in better conditions than the children. The victims bore the immediate marks of extreme neglect. Authorities described the children as appearing almost feral, with some unable to speak or perform basic tasks. The unremarkable exterior of the Hamden property gave no hint of the conditions inside. 16 victims lived in total squalor, raising the question of how this magnitude of abuse went entirely undetected by the outside world. The adults in the home, 2 parents and 2 grandparents, were responsible for the environment. Prosecutors characterized the case as an extreme intra-family situation spanning 2 generations. Law enforcement charged each of the 4 adults with 16 counts of second-degree child endangerment, with a judge setting bond at $300,000 for each. Investigators discovered that the family had spent 2 decades moving across southern Ohio. They avoided settling in any one community specifically to stay off the grid. This document outlines Ohio's child abuse reporting framework. The suspects evaded these mandated laws by never enrolling the children in school. They applied this same calculated avoidance to the medical system. By shunning doctors, they ensured no government records existed for the children. The children were erased from the system through a decades-long manipulation of state records by the adults in charge. The Omer Street property was not physically isolated from the community. While it sat back from the railroad tracks, it was clearly visible from the road. Neighbors living just 3 doors down believed they lived on a quiet street and told reporters they had never once seen a child at the residence. A high chair, 2 busted bicycles, and discarded toys in the yard. These items acted as visual camouflage, making it look like a typical cluttered family home. It is a terrifying psychological reality that an illusion of normalcy can be maintained while extreme abuse occurs just feet away from completely oblivious neighbors. Immediately after the children were removed, 7 were transported to local hospitals for urgent medical triage. The most critical cases required trauma centers. 2 victims were flown by helicopter to specialized facilities, and 1 child required intubation to survive. Years of confinement resulted in profound developmental delays. Some of the older children were found to be entirely nonverbal. One 18-year-old victim with developmental disabilities could not even spell her own name. While the children are now in state custody, the developmental and psychological damage persists. For these 16 victims, the path to normalcy is a decades-long process of recovery. This case follows a recognized criminal pattern seen in the 2018 Turpin family case in California, where extreme intra-family captivity was hidden behind a facade of normalcy. In these instances, abusers weaponize total isolation against their own relatives to maintain absolute power. Our societal safety nets are reactive. As this flowchart shows, systems like schools, doctors, and social workers require a public touchpoint to function. A completely isolated family bypasses every single trigger that would otherwise alert authorities to abuse. The ultimate vulnerability in child protection is visibility. Safety nets only work if someone can be seen, allowing extreme neglect to thrive when victims are kept entirely in the dark.